You're tuned in to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. Powerful ideas to rock your restaurant. Here's your host, Roger Bodwin.
Welcome back, Rockstars, to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. This is Roger, and today we're talking cash-saving tips. No matter how long you've been running your restaurant, you're always going to run a tight ship. You want to maximize sales while limiting expenses. It's just smart business. And think of all the things you can and will do with the extra cash. Let's start with trade. Whether you've just opened your restaurant or you've been open for years, you've got value to offer for pennies on the dollar. How's this so? Well, if you run a tight ship and your food costs are less than 30%, this means you can trade for your services at 30% of their value instead of 100%. How smart is that? You need lots of services in your restaurant: printing, graphic design, landscaping, handyman and maintenance services, interior decor. Here's where to get creative. Think of everything you'll need and ask the supplier if they'll trade for the value. Even a partial trade works. Everyone likes to go out to eat, but some people really don't like to pay to go out to eat. A nice trade account at your restaurant is very appealing. Who doesn't like to feel important by simply signing the check and walking away? Ask. I learned a long time ago, you don't ask, you don't get. So see what you can get of great value from your suppliers. Over the years, I asked for lots of prize items. I had a mug club with 850 members, and I always needed value added and prizes to give them. I also had a super important employee rewards and recognition program. So I filled a closet in my restaurant with neon beer signs, t-shirts, hats, jackets, wearables, other clothing items, and even big ticket items like skis, golf clubs, tennis rackets, electronics, and TV sets. Where did all this stuff come from? My suppliers, of course, my food distributors, my beer, wine, and liquor suppliers. They all have these warehouses filled with stuff collecting dust. They're glad to get rid of it, and they're especially glad that you're buying from them. So ask. I even remember getting a gas grill with 100 pounds of choice steak and marketing money to drive business to my new restaurant. A famous energy drink company gave me thousands of dollars a year for live entertainment in exchange for the promotional and advertising value of my brand. Better yet, I had a contest to win a snowmobile, and the dealer gave me a leftover machine for less than half his cost. This drove tons of business to my restaurant all winter, and I made money from the promotion. I got the snowmobile for pennies on the dollar, all because I was heavily promoting that dealer all winter with my clientele. It was a win-win. On top of this, know that your suppliers have graphic arts departments and printing capabilities. They can print your menus, your table tents, your posters, flyers for big events, even giant display banners to hang on your sign or building. I've gotten all these things over the years for free, just because I asked, and you can too. Remember, you don't ask, you don't get. Shop suppliers. Many products and services you buy are a commodity, and you can get comparable quality from many suppliers. So why not shop around to get the absolute best price on everything you buy? The only way to do this is to compare suppliers and prices, and if you like one in particular, ask them to meet another's price for a comparable product or service. Don't forget to shop your food suppliers, payroll companies, credit card processing, landscapers, cleaning companies, trash removal services. The list goes on and on. This is time well spent. Why not buy decor? Why buy decor for your restaurant? When local artists want to sell their work, you can display it, sell it, and realize a portion of the sale. It's an easy way to decorate and make money at the same time. Same with floral arrangements. You can ask for flowers and vases and advertise that florist's business. Before the perishable flowers die in the shop, they'd be happy to give you some flowers that'll last a day or two. What else can you display and sell that adds to your ambiance, is on your brand strategy, and makes your money? Recycling. Don't forget this one. Your restaurant generates lots of empty bottles and cans, and obviously many states, your restaurant has to pay the 5-cent deposit. Most restaurants forget this, and they actually throw away the bottles and cans. I can't tell you how many restaurants I've seen do this. That's just lost money. Just about every area has local recyclers that buy back the bottles and cans for the 5-cent deposit. You know, my restaurant was so busy, I got back $700 plus every single month. and the recycler picked up at my restaurant. Raising prices is just super smart and super important. Know that your cost of goods and the cost of doing business is constantly rising, especially in an up economy. You've got to keep up to preserve your profits. So don't be afraid to strategically raise prices, as long as your perceived value offering remains high and you're giving value and fun to your customer. Also, don't forget to routinely shop your competitors to see what they're charging for similar products, both food and drink. Just smart. Let's talk free refills. I think the chain restaurants have an unfair advantage in this country over independent restaurants. Simple economies of scale and massive buying power. You have to ask yourself if your customer absolutely expects free refills from your independent restaurant, or if you can charge for each soda or coffee based on other fun and amenities you provide. If not, you're going to save yourself some money. But more importantly, you're going to build your bottom line and profits. In my restaurants, I once calculated that I would lose $15,000 to $20,000 in soda sales if I gave away free refills, on top of the few $1,000s in product cost. Thus the reason I never gave away free refills. I was the fun place to be and the dominant restaurant brand in my area. You need to make this decision based on what's best for your own restaurant. Same with fine linens and silverware. Again, I made the mistake when I first opened to have fine linen tablecloths and fancy expensive silver in my casual family-style restaurant. I needlessly spent too much money only to see the monthly linen bills and the cleaning costs for the stained linens, as well as all the expensive silverware that ended up in my trash bins and in my employees' apartments. Later, I pulled the tablecloths from my tables and I purchased my own colorful napkins and a washer-dryer, and I paid my staff to do the laundry. I saved a little money here, but then I found out that the cost-effective polyester napkins were not absorbent, which really irritated my customer. I later switched to cheap aluminum utensils wrapped in a paper napkin topped with my restaurant's brand logo sticker. My customer never cared, and I saved a ton of money each season. Again, I had a family casual place, so this is just food for thought. Some restaurant concepts need fancy linens and silver. Some don't. You decide what's really important for your restaurant. Last, let's run a safe ship. If you build a family of staff, your own dream team if you will, I always call it a dream team, the staff will work hard and keep your place safe. If you treat them right, they'll treat you right, and act like an owner working safely, noticing hazards and other issues that need attention. All this saves you money in workers' comp and insurance rates that rise from claims. So do yourself a favor, care about the details and your people, run a safe and tight ship, another win-win. Thanks for listening.
Hey there, Rockstars. So the concept is pretty simple. The cash is either in your pocket or in theirs. So think about how you can trade for services that would normally cost you 100% on the dollar, but now you're paying pennies on the dollar because you have value and you ask. Ask your suppliers for items of value. Think of what you could do with this stuff. You could reward your customers. You could reward your employees. I've done that for years and years and years. I asked my suppliers for anything of value, whether that was TV sets, electronics, sporting goods, clothing, hoodies, sweatshirts, hats, t-shirts, you name it. It's sitting around in their warehouse. I asked, they gave it to me, and then I gave it away. And that gave me so much value with my customers and my employees. Also, know that when you build a powerful restaurant brand, you have power with your suppliers and your customers alike. Remember, many of the products and services that you buy are a commodity. That means you can get pretty much the same thing from many different suppliers. Just make sure that you provide your specifications, you test the quality of the products, and then you ask for the best price. And you can only get that when you shop suppliers. I also used to make it a routine to visit my competitors. I would dine out in their restaurants and I would check out their menus, their menu pricing, their marketing, the ambiance of the restaurant, the way they trained their staff, if they trained their staff, how the staff approached the table, the service levels they provided, and on and on. I can't tell you how much I learned and the ideas that I gleaned over the years from competitors and other restaurants alike, even if they were 100 miles away. So shop other restaurants. You can learn so much. And then lastly, don't forget to raise your prices just to maintain margins, provided you're constantly adding value and providing great service. Just smart business. Thanks for listening. Thanks. We'll see you in episode number 83.
Thanks for listening to the Restaurant Rockstars podcast. For lots of great resources, head over to restaurantrockstars.com. And while you're there, download a copy of the book, Rock Your Restaurant. It's a game changer. See you next time.